Joe Manchin has become the bane of all of our existences. He is someone who seems to find pleasure in trying to prevent good things from happening in our government. And before I get into the story, I just want to say, yes, I know. If you say this to me, I'm going to virtually, in a video game, slap you across the face. But I know that he's one of the rare people who can win in West Virginia. It's a very conservative state. He can have more conservative politics. That doesn't mean that he needs to do the things that he does. Because a great example of this is sinking all of Build Back Better. Yes, he's still popular in West Virginia. Yes, he has a very conservative state. It would not have hurt him to allow that to pass. So I'm saying as a basic moral thing, not is this something he can do and still survive politically? Absolutely. He absolutely can. And yes, I'm glad it's him and not a Republican. So all of those things that people bring up every time you criticize Joe Manchin, shut up. But we can recognize when he is single-handedly or in unity with Christian Cinema, sinking legislation that would absolutely help our world, our country, or just actions that are attempted to be taken that would absolutely improve people's lives. So we can be mad at him. You can hate Joe Manchin, even though people will scream that, oh, well, if it wasn't him, it'd be a Republican. Yeah, and I think he should have the basic moral compass in his mind to do good things, even if he can still survive politically without doing them. Reading from ABC, Senator Joe Manchin appears to have torpedoed a cornerstone of President Joe Biden's economic agenda, telling Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer Thursday evening that he won't support moving forward on proposed tax hikes on wealthy Americans and corporations that would pay for a package of climate change and energy policies, at least not right now. This according to two aides familiar with the matter. So he says, I'm not going to allow us as a party to follow through on the promises that our party made when running elections in 2020. One of the things that he says so often is, I'm not going to make fun of him. I think that wealthy people should pay their fair share. Absolutely. We should raise the taxes on the rich. He says that all the time. But then they say, hey, how about we raise the taxes on the rich? We get some of the wealth from the wealthy and spend it on climate change and energy policies that would help us not only not continue to allow our country to burn, but also, and I mean that obviously figuratively, sort of. I mean, California is literally burning, but we are allowing climate change to progress in such a way that's going to cause tons of damage and carnage across the world. And as one of the largest countries in the world, we do have a responsibility to act to help stop that. But also, there is so much industry and jobs and amazing technology that is to be gained through investing in green energy. At some point, the whole world is going to shift to green energy. Do we want to be on the front lines of that, or do we want to be buying from other countries all the time? If we invested now in good green energy, we could absolutely be so happy about it later. But Joe Manchin cares more about his own investments in oil, his own campaign contributions, and whatever weird distorted view he has of the world than doing objectively good things. Democrats were hopeful they could move on a slimmed down version of the once sweeping social and economic spending agenda formerly known as Build Back Better before they depart for a month-long August recess. Manchin had agreed to allow Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices, potentially saving the federal government $288 billion and bringing down costs for seniors, in addition to a 2-year extension of pandemic-era premium subsidies for lower-income Americans enrolled in Obamacare. But Manchin, a West Virginia Democrat who has for months warned of deep concerns about record-high inflation and the effects of more federal spending, effectively shelved tax and climate change reforms until he sees data on July inflation rates due out early next month. You know what helps? You know what would help with inflation? Taxing the people who have the most money at the top. If we're so worried there's too much money in our economy, all right, let's take it away from those at the top. Sounds good to me. Of course, he'll give an excuse. He'll say it's because of inflation. But guess what? Before we were experiencing such bad inflation, he wasn't for these good programs either. Each step of the way, he's had some explanation for why, but he's pushed back the chance over and over and said, not right now, not right now. That is what he sits there to do. Say not right now to good things, because you as an American, according to Joe Manchin, do not deserve clean air, clean water, good jobs, a good economy, and good green energy sources. You don't deserve that right now. It makes me so angry. And I think anything that we could do to put pressure on him will absolutely should be done. But it seems like, because he knows he won't be damaged politically in West Virginia for a number of reasons, he's totally okay watching our earth slowly die at a rate that it absolutely would not have to be if he would just step up and act, as well as watch countless people's lives not be improved because of his actions.